Hi everybody, welcome back to the Record Room. Today's episode is going to be reviewing Travis Scott's third studio album, heavily anticipated, ASTROWORLD. Travis Scott's music career began in 2013 with his breakout mixtape, Owl Pharaoh. This showcased his unique sound, his ability to blend Atlanta's new trap sound with a psychedelic feel and kind of a storybook quality to it. He was very good at telling a story through different elements of those sounds. The year after, he released his second mixtape, Days Before Rodeo. This gained him a little more attention with songs like Mamacita, Don't Play, Drugs You Should Try It, and a few others. 2015 brought his debut studio album, Rodeo, which is my favorite project to date. He really cultivated his sound at a polished level on this album and gave a lot of introspective and almost coming-of-age type lyrics. So along with his polished sound and his great storytelling abilities, this created my favorite project for me. And 2016, he released Birds in the Trap Sing McKnight. This was a big commercial success. It was heavily advertised by Apple Music. For me, it was my least favorite project from Travis. I feel like it lacked a lot of original sound and it lacked a lot of cohesiveness. Nothing really sounded like one full project that belonged together. So after my disappointment with Birds, I was left a little curious about what ASTROWORLD was going to sound like. And ASTROWORLD has been teased for a very long time. Travis has been hinting at this for a few years now. So I was excited for this project, but at the same time, a little wary to see what ASTROWORLD was going to bring. And let me say, I wasn't disappointed. I do like this project quite a bit. ASTROWORLD brings a lot of Travis's old qualities about. For me, Birds felt like a pretty hard deviation for Travis. It felt like too blatantly substanceless. I always felt Travis's work, though, obviously having ignorant lyrics a lot of the time, I thought it brought an interesting quality to it, and I felt like there was always just a little something that made it Travis Scott and told you a little bit about his character, a little bit about his story. Birds didn't hold a lot of that for me, but ASTROWORLD definitely does. ASTROWORLD opens up with this great track, Stargazing, which is this psychedelic, like, kaleidoscopic experience that you go through. I mean, this thing is really one of my favorite tracks. Travis really comes with this great flow, talking about him going on psychedelic trips, leaving him stargazing, and I think it sets a great mood for the album. There's a pretty good beat switch up in the middle of it, and Travis comes in and starts spitting at a nasty pace with some really nice bars. The second song, Carousel, features none other than Frank Ocean. I like this track a lot. I feel like it was mixed, in my opinion, a little poorly. The chords, the synth chords in the background that really, I feel like, characterize the song for me, I feel like were a little too low. And though I love Frank's parts in this, he was a little underutilized. It wasn't what I'd love to see from Frank. I feel like this track could have been a little better. And the third track, which is a huge hit off the album, Sicko Mode, featuring superstar Drake. That's an interesting one. I like it a lot. So it starts off with this intro, kind of like a fake out. Drake comes in, a few intro bars, it stops all of a sudden, then comes in with this really chunky, grimy type beat that Travis has a really nice flow over for about 2.5 minutes or so. And then after that, it switches again, a third beat switch, to a Take Heath beat. I like Take Heath. He's a new producer, if you don't know. He came up with a lot of music from Block Boy JB, and he's a pretty notable sound. Very super infectious. Really, I mean, party bangers is pretty much what he makes. And he comes with this really haunting and eerie type beat. And Drake comes in, and this part of the track is pretty reminiscent of Drake's song "Nonstop" of Scorpion. And Drake comes in with these really like slashing bars. I want to say, just really feels like little stabs. I really like his flow, and at a point, him and Travis trade bars back and forth, and it's just really makes for a good banger and a good song overall. R.I.P. Screw is the next song, featuring Sway Lee. If you don't know, DJ Screw, which the song is titled after, R.I.P. Screw, he was a DJ from Houston that kind of originated the chopped and screwed sound. So this is, I guess, more or less a tribute track to him, especially because he's from Houston, Travis's hometown. And I like this track a lot. We hear Travis sing at a pretty high register, which he doesn't usually do, and I like it a lot. And Sway Lee comes with these really, I guess, I like cute bars, I want to say. His voice is kind of like teenage, but I like it a lot, yeah. The track after that, Stop Trying to Be God, which is what like top 3 on the album for me. Features some pretty big names. You got some vocal humming harmonies from Kid Cudi, per usual. You also have James Blake with this really interesting like lyrical gospel ballad, and some harmonica work from the man himself, Stevie Wonder, which I was kind of just like blown away at. I guess this is Travis's biggest attempt at making a song, I mean, super deep. I mean, Stop Trying to Be God. I still haven't fully analyzed the song in its entirety, but I do like the direction that Travis took the song in. I mean, the sound is fantastic. It's really very atmospheric, and I think captures, you know, when you think of Stop Trying to Be God, I don't know, I just feel like it really suits that sound. Very, very atmospheric, very, it kind of makes you feel like you're just floating through the galaxy. Yeah, really great track, really powerful track. I really love James Blake's vocals on this, actually. No Bystanders was I guess one of the weaker points of the album for me, for a few reasons. So they have Juice WRLD on this hook, man, and Juice WRLD has just come up this year. I don't know if you guys know about him. Kind of like, I'm not really a fan of him, just pretty bluntly. I feel like he takes the emo rap sound and just kind of commercializes it. So, I mean, he came up fast this year, and he's on ASTROWORLD. I mean, props to him, but I'm just not a fan, so that kind of ruined the song for me. So they have Juice WRLD on the hook. Travis comes in, talking about him being on a flight. I don't know, it's like kind of a party song. And then the hook comes in, and you have Sheck West screaming, "Fuck the club up, bitch!" I mean, it's a banger. I just wish they gave Sheck West a fucking verse. I mean, I'm a big Sheck West fan. Also, if you don't know Sheck West, he's just coming up. He's from Harlem. He's a really aggressive, boisterous sounding rapper. Check him out if you haven't. So yeah, I guess the song was kind of like, I wish they just completed it differently. Like, I wish they had Sheck West had a verse, somebody else on the hook. I mean, overall, a party song. And then after that is a song Skeletons, which I was pretty blown away at initially before I heard it because of the production list. I mean, you see, it was produced by Pharrell and Tame Impala. Tame Impala, one of my favorite bands. If you don't know them, they're like a psychedelic rock band from Australia. Great work. And Pharrell, I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody knows Pharrell. So when I saw those two, I was like, wow, this track is probably gonna make my face melt off, right? I mean, it wasn't a bad track. It was a slow point in the album for me, though. I mean, I was really expecting a harder bass line, maybe a little more of a psychedelic feel. I didn't really get the feeling of me on an acid trip from a song. That was a joke, by the way. I mean, this also features some vocals from The Weeknd, Abel Tesfaye. And I like The Weeknd. I don't think The Weeknd has made any work better than his 3 mixtapes that he broke out with many years ago. But, you know, it was cool. It was a cool track. It was cool to see all these people on one track. Not a bad song. I just wish it kind of melted my face off a little more. The next song, Wake Up, has a pretty gritty acoustic guitar sample that goes throughout the whole song, which I like a lot. This also features some more vocals from The Weeknd. I like his part a little better on this song. The song is pretty much sex-oriented. Talking about, you know, want to have sex with this woman all the time. I don't want to wake up. I want you spread out on the sheets. You know, I'm pretty sure you get the meaning. I like this track a lot, though. The next 2 tracks, 5% Tint and NC-17, featuring 21 Savage, both share a pretty eerie quality. I like 5% Tint's like really ominous sounding piano chords that kind of ring out in the background, and Travis's like monotone kind of hook. Who's that creeping out my window? I think it fits the track really well. NC-17 I like a lot. It also shares that eerie quality, like I said. And 21 Savage's verse on this is the best verse I've heard from him in a very long time. I like 21 Savage a lot. I think he came on the scene with a pretty cool, unique sound. And my favorite project by him is Savage Mode, this album he had with Metro Boomin. And after the album Issa, he kind of fell off for me. So this is one of the first verses I've heard from him in a while that I truly like. Astro Thunder is the next track, and the producers of this were Thundercat, amazing bassist from the West Coast, and alternative rock god John Mayer. This track is really, really good. One of my favorites on the album. Features these really interesting, like, droplet sounding synths. It's the only way I can really explain it. But definitely a highlight for me. The next track is Yosemite, which features rapper Gunna and Nav. So I hate Nav, just letting you know. This beat was produced by Turbo, great producer for a lot of modern Atlanta trap rappers. Gunna has this really, really infectious hook that I love. And I think it's actually fucking hilarious. When Nav's verse comes in, it's like 4 bars. And it's recorded and mixed so much lower than Travis and Gunna's part. Travis was actually pretty weak on this track. He just kind of copies Gunna's flow. But a good track. A good bump, for sure. Can't Say is a weird one. But it features Houston artist Don Tolliver, who is upcoming, and he has a really distinct voice that I like a lot. So this track is a highlight for me just from that man's distinct voice. Yeah. The next track is Houston Fornication. I feel like this track had a lot more potential, especially with the name. I feel like he could have gone such a nostalgic route and like such an introspective route for this one, but it was an okay track. I just wish he did more with it, more with the name and the material in it. The production's pretty cool. It's okay overall. Who What is the next track after that. This features like 3 bars each from Quavo and Takeoff of the Migos. The production on this is really good. The song stagnates a little bit towards the end. I guess Travis just wasn't doing it for me for the whole like 4 minutes, I think. But when Takeoff comes in for like his 3 or 4 bars, I thought his flow was so good across that track. That track also features a pretty eerie, kind of ominous sounding production, but another good one. And the last track would be Coffee Bean, which is a total curveball on this album. This song really reminds me of his work off of Days Before, specifically a song like Gray, or Backyard even. So this song is really like low key, features kind of like blissful guitar, and is like, I mean, not to like reference the title too much, but kind of like a coffee shop sounding track. It's probably one of the more substantial tracks on the album. Travis talks about has these bars about like divorce and giving up his kid. I mean, I hope that's not happening considering he just had a child with Kylie Jenner. But maybe he's talking about his family or somebody he knew. A really good track overall though. Definitely a curveball. Total different sound than the rest of the album, for sure. So overall, I really like this album a lot. It's definitely a great project from Travis. There's a lot of highlights for me. Like I mentioned, a lot of those songs: Coffee Bean, Astro Thunder, Stop Trying to Be God. Really great tracks on there. I mean, I just really wish he did more with the theme of Astroworld though. Most of this album didn't really have substance lyrics wise. And I feel like he could have gone such a great route with the name Astroworld, with a theme. He could have talked about some of his story, his history, because Astroworld, I'm sorry I didn't include this in the beginning, Astroworld was in an amusement park by Six Flags that was in Houston, that was torn down a number of years ago, but Travis kind of uses this as like marking for like his past, his hometown, where he's been, where he's now. So I feel like he could have went a really great introspective route with his lyrics and stuff, but overall a good project, solid. I would rate this album a B overall. This album definitely isn't as strong as Rodeo. Rodeo is still my favorite project by Travis to date. There's nothing that really matches that epic feeling that Rodeo gave off with T.I.'s narration and everything. Yeah, overall a good record. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and tune in next week.